Hello everyone! If you're hunting for a top-notch breakfast spot, this is the video for you. Today, we're checking out a local favorite that's new to Las Vegas, but's been serving up bold, inventive breakfasts for decades. It all started in 1979 in Pacific Beach near San Diego. Back in my teenage years, my friends and I couldn't get enough of its creative dishes and laid-back vibe. Now, as with me, it's made its way to Las Vegas, bringing the same energy and flavor locals fell in love with all those years ago. From fluffy pancakes to hearty omelets and surprising Mexican breakfast creations, this cafe has something for everyone. The atmosphere? Playful, maybe even a little kitschy, and just the right way to kick off your day. Welcome to the Broken Yolk, a breakfast experience you won't soon forget. But before we begin, according to YouTube, only 20% of those watching right now are subscribed. Subscribing is free, and it greatly helps this channel grow and to allow us to bring you more reviews. So please take a moment to subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. We began with an American breakfast classic, steak and eggs. The eggs arrived bright and flavorful, cooked exactly the way I ordered them. Lately, eggs in Vegas have been pushing nearly $7 a carton, which is crazy. Love to know what they cost where you are. Drop us a comment and let us know. Then there's the steak. While it's not the biggest cut, it's packed with flavor. Mine was rare, just as I ordered, but the kitchen is happy to prepare it however you prefer. The seasoning is simple: salt, pepper, and just a touch of garlic, coming together to create a deep, rich, umami-packed bite. If all food were prepared this way, salt and pepper shakers would be but a distant memory. And the potatoes? They're a bite of nostalgia, crispy on the outside, buttery and fluffy on the inside. They remind me of the home fries I used to get at their mother location in Pacific Beach back in the 80s. The kind that made people line up out the door, bringing the energy of a packed California morning where the salt air mixed with the smell of sizzling breakfast. Each bite brings back memories of those Golden Beach days, and honestly, I'd come back here just for these. But the real surprise is the blueberry muffin. Freshly baked in-house, soft, buttery, and bursting with juicy blueberries. It's the kind of muffin that makes you stop after the first bite just to take it in. Moist, sweet, and perfectly balanced. It's one of the best I've ever had. I could make a meal of just these muffins and leave completely satisfied. This is a breakfast dish done right. Simple, nostalgic, and made with care. From the first bite to the last, it's a meal that lingers in the best possible way and staves off any thoughts of lunch for several hours. Every weekend at my restaurant, chicken and waffles took center stage. Some weekends, we'd go through 100 pounds of fried chicken. My recipe, passed down from my grandmother's cherished Southern tradition, earned a reputation for being some of the best fried chicken in LA. So when it comes to this beloved classic, I know a thing or four. Chicken and waffles have deep roots in African American culture, tracing back to the 1930s when Harlem supper clubs served this savory meets sweet dish to the late night diners. And over time, it became an iconic comfort food. The combination of crispy, juicy fried chicken and soft golden waffles, such a perfect match, it's hard to see how it took so long to invent. Now, let's talk about this version. The chicken is a level above the rest. It's first sous vide, which is a technique that locks in flavor and makes the meat unbelievably tender, before being breaded and fried to crispy perfection. The result? A texture that's melt in your mouth moist, with every bite infused with deep seasoning. The waffles are just as impressive. Light, buttery, and with just the right amount of vanilla, pairs perfectly with the chicken. Crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, these are the epitome of waffles done right. When this dish arrived at the table, it was somewhat unassuming looking. No theatrics, such as Hash House A-Go-Go's 10-inch Mad Max knife piercing the chicken and waffles. But don't be fooled. Obviously, all the attention went into the preparation and less the presentation, making what is without a doubt the best chicken and waffles I've had in Vegas. A true American classic, the club sandwich. It's been a staple for over a century. It's believed to have first appeared at the Saratoga Clubhouse in New York in the late 19th century. a time when stacked sandwiches were gaining popularity among the hoity-toity. The combination of turkey, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayo, layered between 3 slices of toasted bread, quickly became a hit, spreading to diners, hotels, and cafes across the country. This version stays true to tradition, but with a bit of a surprise: sourdough bread, adding a subtle tang that enhances the smoky bacon and juicy turkey. Crisp lettuce, ripe tomato, and creamy mayo bring balance, creating layers of flavor and texture. Savory, crunchy, creamy, and fresh. And let's not forget the fries. Golden, crispy, and pleasingly salted. They're the ultimate companion to this legendary sandwich. Classic, satisfying, and timeless. This is comfort food at its best. Our server insisted we try the Mexican food. Why? Because the chef, a skilled cook from Mexico, is about to open his own taqueria down the street, making everything from scratch. Well, that's all I needed to hear. No arm twisting necessary. And wow, definitely the right decision. The Mexican food here is wonderful. The slow roasted machaca is packed with deep, savory umami richness. So good, it might bring your otherwise mild-mannered abuelita to shoot daggers. We couldn't choose between red and green salsa, so we got both. That turned out to be another good call. The verde salsa blends Anaheim chilies and tomatillos with just the right touch of garlic and cilantro to brighten it up. The Sonoran-style red sauce is warm, smoky, and rich with ancho chilies and aromatic herbs, delivering a level of heat I found spot on. Topping it all off, a perfectly poached egg. The yolk drapes over the crispy chilaquiles, adding a luscious, indulgent finish. This dish was a standout. If you love bold, authentic Mexican flavors, you're in for a treat. The Monte Cristo sandwich blends sweet and savory flavors, with roots in the early 20th century. Inspired by the French croque monsieur, this American twist started appearing in cookbooks in the 1930s. By the 1950s and 60s, it had become a popular diner staple, especially in Southern California, where it gained fame on theme park menus. As a kid, I loved this sandwich. It's like a French toast version with crisp, buttery bread layered with smoky ham and melted Swiss cheese. Traditionally, it's battered and deep fried, but here, instead, the chefs build it on thick-cut French toast, stacking thinly sliced ham and Swiss, then slicing it into layers for visually striking presentation. A dusting of powdered sugar adds a touch of sweetness, and a side of house-made raspberry coulis balances the rich, savory flavors. Paired with fresh fruit, this dish offers crispy, creamy, sweet, and salty notes in every bite. It's too bad the theme park connection hasn't remained. That would be fun. Well, no matter, it's a wonderful dish either way. This is a glorious, messy masterpiece, one that demands extra napkins and zero regrets. And food like this is why I always wear a black shirt. Otherwise, I'd end up looking like a Jackson Pollock painting. Today's burger was particularly messy, and some of it even made it into my mouth. The rest, well, let's just say my dogs are going to love me when I get home. We're talking applewood smoked bacon, crispy onion rings, tangy barbecue sauce, melted cheddar, crisp lettuce, juicy tomato, and a generous slather of mayo. A beautiful disaster? Absolutely. Worth every bite? No question. You already know how I roll. I asked for my burger rare, and they nailed it. The bacon? Perfectly crisp with that smoky, salty goodness I crave. The barbecue sauce, whether house-made or not, it's downright addictive. The onion ring? Well, it got a little lost in the other bowl flavors, but I can forgive that given everything else going on in this burger. Now, the sweet potato fries. Well, I'll be honest, I've never been a fan, even when I made them in my own restaurant. People raved about them, but I never got the hype. These were fine, just not my thing. But the burger? I'd eat this any day. Maybe next time I'll use a knife and fork. Nah, probably not. When our server Emily stopped by, I asked the all-important question, "What's your favorite thing on the menu?" Without hesitation, she said, "The Fiesta burrito." When someone in the know responds that quickly and emphatically, Well, I'm no fool, count me in. Also, since our one Mexican dish so far was a wonderful surprise, I was keen to try another, especially anything with more of that fantastic machaca. As many of you know, I trained as a chef in Mexico during my youth, so when I find something unexpectedly authentic, I don't pass it up. And the Fiesta burrito did not disappoint. The salsa verde, again, blew me away, easily among the best in the city. Bright, tangy, full of depth. The machaca lived up to my expectations. Some of the most tender, deeply seasoned beef I've had in a very long time. There's a touch of egg, but the beef steals the show. Of course, I had to ask for extra rojo sauce just to bring it to the next level. This burrito is the real deal. Bold flavors, perfectly executed, and absolutely worth ordering. When you see avocado toast on the menu these days, you really have to order it. Skipping it would likely have the cool police after me. Today, avocado toast isn't just another breakfast option, it's a cultural imperative, a quiet acquiescence to the latest trend. And I can respect that game. When a wave hits, go with the flow. Well, this particular rendition felt like a culinary time machine, a cross-generational love child of the 70s and 90s. The foundation, thick, whole-grain bread, the kind that reminds one of health food stores before they became luxury markets. It instantly transported me back to the source on Sunset Boulevard, the iconic vegetarian mecca where LA's hippies gathered long before avocado toast ruled brunch menus. In the 70s, this was where you found sprouted grains, nut butters, and an unwavering belief that wheat germ and tofu could save the world. Fast forward to the 90s, grunge, minimalism, and the rise of the modern cafe scene. Avocado toast quietly crept onto menus, riding the wave of a new age health consciousness. But it didn't explode until Instagram gave it a halo. Now, it's more than food, it's an aesthetic, a declaration, a signifier of taste. And this one, it checked all the boxes. Creamy avocado, a crunch of everything seeds, and a perfectly rustic presentation that practically begged for a well-lit overhead shot. The soft-boiled egg on top, well, an excellent idea, in theory. In execution, mine was a little lacking as it veered closer to firm-boiled letdown than runny yolk euphoria. Well, egg grievances aside, I devoured every bite, nostalgia and all. Would I order it again? Absolutely. Would I politely insist on a softer yolk next time? Without hesitation. All right, I have to confess, this might sound a little out there, but the night before I came here to film, I had the strangest dream. Someone kept telling me, it's all about the Mexican food. You have to order the Mexican food. It's the real deal. This seemed like one of those nonsensical dreams, as I remember the Broken Yolk from my teen years, and back then, Mexican food was nowhere to be found. But at this point, with 2 stunning Mexican dishes under my belt, I had to go all in and order the Sope benedict, with more of that fantastic machaca. And wow, the house-made corn masa they use, incredible. Warm, slightly crisp on the edges, and packed with rich, earthy flavor. The tomato salsa, fresh, vibrant, and just the right amount of tang. The egg, perfectly runny, oozing into every bite like a golden sauce. And the crema fresca, a silky, slightly tangy finishing touch that ties everything together. The spicy pico de gallo adds just the right heat, rounding out this masterpiece of a dish. Oh, and of course, the home fries. I was still obsessed. I had to ask for them extra crispy, because let's be real, that's the only way to eat them. How do you like yours? This meal was yet another Mexican standout, and I promise you're gonna love this place. Where is one even to start with a plate like this? The sweet trio is Broken Yolk's greatest hits of dessert for breakfast, combining a slice of tiki toast, a slice of crunchy French toast, and a cinna cake. It's like they raided the Hall of Fame of sweet treats to serve up the ultimate sugar rush. Thank God my glucose monitor stopped working this morning. First up, the crunchy French toast. Though crunchy doesn't quite do it justice. Coated in crispy cereal, Think cornflakes cranked to max crunch. It delivers an unbeatable texture in every bite. Just when you think it can't get better, they drizzle it with house-made raspberry coulis, adding the perfect tart contrast to all that richness. Then there's the tiki toast, a legend in the making. Thick-cut King's Hawaiian bread transformed into golden French toast topped with coconut. Pure magic. Usually not big on shredded coconut. But here, it just works. Maybe it's the sweetness of the bread. Maybe it's the caramelization from the griddle. Maybe it's some magic pixie dust they have in the back. Well, whatever it is, it's phenomenal, and I could have devoured 3 more of these slices. Finally, the cinnamon cake. Imagine if a churro and a cinnamon roll had a demon child. Soft, sugary, and spiced just right. It might just be the MVP of the trio. But honestly, picking a favorite feels impossible. The only solution? Order them again, and maybe a 3rd time, just to be sure. The first time I tasted Nutella was as a teenager traveling through Europe, and I've never forgotten it. When I got home, I hunted everywhere for that rich chocolate hazelnut spread. It was love at first bite. Back then, though, you were pretty much out of luck trying to find it here in the States. Fortunately, that has dramatically changed, and now Nutella is everywhere. Savoring this decadent crepe, I'm transported back to Belgium, where I first fell for the magic of crepes and Nutella. Crepes, a French classic dating back to the 13th century, originated in Brittany and have since won over the world. Pairing them with Nutella, a velvety Italian creation from the 1940s, turns them into pure indulgence. This one feels somewhat like a banana split on overdrive, layered with warm Nutella, fresh strawberries, and clouds of whipped cream. Comfort food at its finest. So dangerously delicious, it should come with a warning. Okay, we started this review with the classic steak and eggs. Let's finish with a variation that's equally as popular: chicken fried steak and eggs. I remember this was a favorite of mine at the original Broken Yolk in SoCal. It'll be interesting to see how this compares. To start with, the eggs are fluffy, scrambled just as I like them. There's nothing I hate more than rubbery, tasteless, overdone scrambled eggs. The steak is a nice portion, more than fair size, and it's picture perfect. Because of my mom's southern roots, I know a lot about chicken fried steak. My mother swears that the Italians were the first ones to have brought it to this country. She always insisted it originated from Milanese. However, she thought everything was originally an Italian invention. Well, there is much debate about the origins of this dish, so who knows, maybe my mom had it right. Unlike many places where it's made with frozen ground beef or cube steak, here it's just fresh sirloin, pounded thin, seasoned, battered, and fried to a crisp golden brown perfection. If it had a red sauce on it,
Mamma mia!
You'd have the perfect Italian version. I love the country gravy, very rich, thick, and abounding with sausagey goodness. They use heavy cream in the gravy, and it makes it silky and sumptuous. Yet again, these hash browns are a winner. I love the contrast of the burnt edges with the creamy center, utterly delicious, and exactly as I remember them all those years ago. It's remarkable how consistent they've stayed through the decades. The sourdough toast and jam, while not homemade, are pretty darn good. I'd be happy eating this Southern fried classic any day of the week, and you will too. With bold flavors, scratch-made dishes, and serious comfort food, the Broken Yolk is a great spot for an unforgettable breakfast. Throw in a warm helping of nostalgia, and it's a no-brainer. Whether you're craving steak and eggs, a towering Monte Cristo, or chilaquiles that might just change your breakfast game, the Broken Yolk delivers. I love coming to restaurants that not only stay true to their roots, but also embrace new flavors and trends. And this review has reminded me to pay more attention to any prescient dreams, as the Mexican dishes were a standout surprise. So is the Broken Yolk worth a visit? Absolutely. Fresh ingredients, scratch-made recipes, and a kitchen that knows breakfast inside and out. Whether you're a local hunting for a solid breakfast spot, or a visitor fueling up for a Vegas day, this place gets it right. Well, we'll be back to the Broken Yolk very soon. Who knows, maybe you'll see us there. And don't forget to tell them Let's Eat Vegas sent you. This would be a good time to hit the notifications bell so you get a reminder when the next review becomes available. And of course, it's always a good time to like, subscribe, comment, or share. It's free to do so, and it helps us to grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit!